Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm here to give y'all another video, and today I'll be talking about who Black Panther should be fighting in Black Panther 2. Now we're going to assume that T'Challa returns maybe during the ending of Avengers Infinity War Part 2. So I'm going to introduce y'all to 4 bad guys that I believe could give T'Challa a run for his money. The first bad guy is Achibi, who was created by Christopher Priest and Mark Tesserae. Achibi was a Gudisian farmer named Bob, who was also a doctor and a reverend that tended to the leftist rebels. The rebels, in return, ended up seducing and killing his wife and attempt to murder him by stabbing him 32 times. Now, in the movie, what they should do, because you cannot use Mephisto, because Mephisto is someone that mostly let time take on Ghost Rider. What they should do is they should have him strike a deal with Anubis, the god of mummification, instead of Mephisto, and Anubis give him an army of mummies that will help him attack Wakanda. You guys also remember that Achibi is insane, and that's his only power, is that he's really crazy. Because he has no special abilities, they can also give him some titanium empowered suit that was empowered by Anubis, and with that suit he can go toe to toe with T'Challa himself. Remember, they should make him, Achibi, a serial killer with the Mummy Squad, and end up doing some type of battle, and T'Challa has to find some way to beat him. So I think this movie should be like a psychological thriller that I think would be very enjoyable if you do it right. So we're going to move on to the next bad guy, and that is the Baron Macabre, who got his powers after being exposed to the Resurrection Altar. The Resurrection Altar resides in the Chilling Mist, which is a forbidden land in Wakanda, so not a lot of people go to it per se. Baron Macabre is a necromancer because he was mutated through a mutagen when he went to the Resurrection Altar, ended up getting his necromancy powers, which is he can revive the dead. And I think that with him being a villain, he can have an army of dead soldiers at his disposal to fight the Dora Milaje while he finds a way to take on T'Challa. I think one of the stories should go that Baron does not see T'Challa fit to be, he's not fit to be king after Thanos forces ravage Wakanda. He goes to the altar after a friend was killed trying to revive and end up with his powers. And that's where I think the story should end up taking place, in him laying waste to Wakanda, and T'Challa and Shuri and the Dora Milaje do everything they can to stop his rampage. Now, the next bad guy, which is a unique bad guy, actually, he is called the 6 Million Year Man. The 6 Million Year Man, who was created by Jack Kirby. The 6 Million Year Man actual name is the Hatch 22, and they hail from an alternative future in which human beings evolved into nearly unrecognizable forms. He makes sense because he defeated a creature that was capable of destroying the planet. Also, another reason why he makes sense is because his powers are telekinesis and array beam. What they could do with his story is, instead of making him a human being, they can make him an alien that was locked away from the world. Hatch 22 will want revenge for what King T'Chaka did to it and his family and his species, and he ends up going on a rampage when he is released to the world of Wakanda. And because he looks like some crazy looking creature, that Wakandans will be a little nervous of him, and he ends up laying waste and ravage and doing all types of stuff. And T'Challa has to go around figure out, how do I stop an alien with this much power? Because remember what I said earlier, he was capable of defeating a monster that had enough power to destroy the planet. So that gives you some level of what type of power T'Challa be dealing with if he took this creature on. And I think if Ryan Coogler does it right, that he actually could be one of T'Challa's greatest enemies, and I actually kind of hope they use him, which I doubt that they do. Now, the next bad guy would be Jakara, who was also created by Jack Kirby. Now, Jakar is an interesting choice because his backstory is somewhat similar to Killmonger, but there is some few differences. But in the movie, if y'all remember how Killmonger's dad was the brother T'Chaka, and he left Wakanda, went to, I think, Los Angeles, ended up getting killed, and then Killmonger went back to Wakanda to claim what he felt was his birthright, so it made Killmonger Shuri and T'Challa's cousin. But in this movie, Jakar is actually the son of King T'Chaka Matina, the Wakanda spy, who traveled to Wakanda to demand his birthright. So he would travel. I'm sorry, I messed that up. But he would travel to Wakanda to demand his birthright. This is also a way to introduce the Hyena clan, who are a religious group that separated from Wakanda years ago. Now, Jakar has the ability to turn himself into a rock-like creature that has superhuman strength and energy absorption. They can have him fight T'Challa for the throne, then have him lose, and when he loses and beaten or half dead, the Hyena clan ends up finding him, like maybe a former leader or a leader of the Hyena clan finds him and ends up taking him and exposing him to a radiated vibranium, which turns him to that rock-like creature, so it mutates him, and he ends up killing them later, taking over as the leader of the Hyena clan. And just like all the other bad guys, they end up attacking Wakanda, and I think that will make a really interesting story because, again, this is half brother. Now, the only difference between the movie and the comic book is that Storm actually played a role in his defeat in the comic book, but obviously they're probably not going to use Storm in any of the Black Panther movies, even though Disney worked out a deal with Fox, so I think X-Men and the Fantastic Four are coming to Marvel. I don't think Ryan Coogler will still have the rights to Storm just because of how Storm is so synopsis with the X-Men, but so I don't think they'll use him, but they could have him beat the mess out of T'Challa, and that also gives an idea of better and sweeter Wakandan technology that I think will make a really, really good story. Excuse me. He could, the Hyena clan could give him an army that we will see something different. Instead of them using some Wakandan technology, maybe they use some different type of technology. Maybe they use Skrull technology, seeing that the Skrulls are actually in Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel is still in the same universe as Black Panther. So maybe they have them use Skrull technology, or they could slick a way to introduce Atlantean technology and have the Hyena clan use Atlantean technology to fight T'Challa in general. But all in all, these are all the bad guys that I believe can challenge T'Challa and Black Panther. There's more, and I might do a part 2 to this, but right now I just want to talk specifically about these 4 because they all have some form of a backstory, and I think they challenge T'Challa to be more of a hero than a king. Achibi definitely, because he's crazy and he's an excellent strategist, and he can find ways to challenge T'Challa in the battle of the minds. Baron Macabre, he could challenge Wakanda and Dora Milaje because he has an army of dead, and it can make T'Challa make choices about should he kill these people. They're already dead, so it shouldn't matter too much, and maybe get to the point where it's a moral code. Should I kill this guy? Because at this point I'm the king, I have to protect my people at all costs. Now Hatch 22 I think is a unique situation, because if they can change his backstory just a little bit and make it an alien, now you have to decide, should you kill an alien or find a way to send it back home, or find a way to make it docile? That would be an interesting story, because out of all the characters I named, Hatch 22 will be the strongest out of all of them, and not only he has enough power to single-handedly level Wakanda itself, which I do think will be interesting, because leveling the city gives you room to actually make for part 3 of Black Panther, because that'll make the citizens lose faith in their king. And then you have Jakara, who has similarities to Eric Killmonger, but I don't know about him too much. He's interesting because he's mutated and that he has superhuman strength and he absorbs energy. But the only reason why I would say that I'm a little skeptical is because of similarities of Eric Killmonger and how people love the backstory of Eric Killmonger, and they already kind of did a story like that from the first Black Panther film. But they could change some stuff because you're introducing a new type. We know in the Black Panther movie that there's the Jabari tribe, there's the white gorilla tribe, there's the Panther clan, and then now you will have introduced the hyena clan. And maybe that's another way to introduce other gods, because we all know about Bast, the Panther god, but there's more gods that the Wakandas have. They're all based on some form of Egyptian mythology or African mythology that they could use. But if you like the bad guys that I introduced, you guys hit the like button, and you guys can hit the subscribe button, and peace out, and I hope you enjoyed this video.